All right, another installment of high schoolers' questions to a writing coach. How did you realize you wanted to do this? I got a cluster of questions that are kind of similar. A couple factors helped me realize that I wanted to go out on my own as a writing coach. One is just a sense of like, I could do this. I could serve people on my own outside of the corporate environment. I have some things to say. A few books had a big impact on me. The Millionaire Messenger by Brendon Burchard was a big one. That was the first book I read that told me people will pay you probably more than you realize for the skills and expertise that you have. I was like, really? Platform, Get Noticed in a Noisy World by Michael Hyatt, is what got me off my butt to start a blog. And that's when I started building an audience of people who were interested in what I had to say. But the core of it is just this internal sense that I wanted to serve writers outside of the corporate role I was in. So that's how I realized it. And then of course the realization doesn't just happen in a moment. It's a kind of thing that develops as I grew an audience and started making money on the side, and then was making enough money that I realized, wow, this might be enough to live on. Like those steps along the way, those books, the audience growth, by which I specifically mean my email list, all of that kind of led to a realization. When did you start your job? What age? Well, I started my blog back in 2012 when I was 38 years old, and I went on my own in 2018 when I was 44 years old. I'll go almost 52 now. So that's when I started. But a high school kid asked that question, and I think one of the dangers is to think, I couldn't do what that guy's doing until I'm older and have experience and all of that, which might be true if depending on what you want to do. But I think of a recording artist like Jesse Wells, who just took his guitar out into a field and started recording with his iPhone, and now he's a big deal and has a massive audience. He's in his 20s. I don't know how old he is exactly, but he's certainly not 30 yet. So I just want to, if you're a young person watching this, I want to encourage you to not assume that you have to have a whole career like I did before you start working for yourself if you're interested in doing that, because there are plenty of ways that you can just get started. What made you decide to do what you do? I knew that I wanted to coach writers. I knew that I wanted to be involved with authors and books and so on. I didn't know exactly what shape it would take. Early on, I said yes to everything, and I even did some literary agenting, which I don't do now. But business kind of told me what it wanted me to do. It was pretty clear early on that I'm a writing coach. The other thing I was going to say, though, is there were other things inside my corporate environment that were pushing me out. There was a longing I had that was kind of pulling me out, and then there were dynamics inside the company that were kind of pushing me out. And there were a couple of those. I'll just tell you, one of them was I asked to work remotely. That request was rejected, declined, you could say. That made me angry because I felt like I could do my job well in a remote environment. It would have allowed our family a different situation that would have been ideal. And then there was one particular person, this happens in life. There's one particular person that you don't mesh well with. This particular person did not mesh well with a lot of people. So I would have left anyway, but I probably left a little sooner than I would have otherwise if I was getting along really well with everybody. There was one particular person that I didn't get along well with because this person was kind of toxic to everybody. Okay, why do you do what you do? I do it because I love helping writers get books into the world. I'm a big book guy. Books have changed my life, and I want to help others get their books into the world. So that's why I do what I do. How long have you had your career? It'll be full-time This May 2026, it'll be 8 years that I've been full-time on my own. What and how much have you written? So I've written, but the things that have been published are 2 small books, Do Your Art, which is a nonfiction book. The subtitle is A Manifesto on Rejecting Your Apathy to Bring Your Best to the World. Did that one early in my writing coaching. And then the other one I just released, it's a Christmas story called The Belt, the Balloon, the Flowers. So in addition to hundreds of blog posts and articles for different places, those are 2 things that I've pushed into the market. So, all right, hope that's helpful. Take care.